everybody. This is Calvin Waite. I trade crypto for a living. I'm not a registered or licensed financial advisor, planner, or broker, so nothing on this channel should be taken as a recommendation to buy or sell. I also trade all of these things, so I probably have a vested interest in there. But there's plenty of entertainment value and lots of education, so this will be awesome. For those of you who didn't know, my subscription channel is live. So look at the link in the description over at cryptoinfluencers.com, and you can see how I make all of my trades and what I do and what I think about everything. This channel is for more hypothetical and looking at trends, and the other one is for actual trading. So you might be interested in that. Hey everybody. So pretty long weekend. My kids had Friday off, and then I had people come into town Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So it was pretty rough. I got my act together and got a video out on Saturday, but missed yesterday. So happy President's Day, everybody. Anyway, we've got a lot to talk about with Bitcoin, and I figure I would try to give you a pretty decent update. Just wanted to, quickly remind you all that cryptoinfluencers.com is where my home base is. This is the free channel here, and then the pro channel here. And we're having quite the debate in the pro channel as far as people wondering if we're going down, going up. The statistics are all over the map. It's a pretty tough call. So hopefully we can unpack all of that. And then tomorrow we do the live stream. So I'm looking forward to getting your thoughts and ideas. We'll just kind of go through things and talk about the next move. But so far, I am just sitting here on the monthly chart, and we are sitting right near the 50-month moving average. 50-month moving average right now is at 23,600. And so we're trading above that, and we've traded above that for a decent amount of this month. The question is, will we sneak across it? The monthly is usually, it's a pretty big deal, but we snuck down here, snuck across it here, snuck down it here. The only time we really showed some kind of respect to the monthly was closing almost exactly on it at the end of last month. So this gives us a pass. We can easily close below or close above. For the majority of leading into this, I felt like we were too hot and we needed to pull back, which would set us up for a pretty awesome break next month. But we just haven't cooled off. So we're sneaking across this. And so if you stop on a resistance line and open and move above, that move is a perfect way to cross resistance. The month is done in 7 days. So next Tuesday, we will be evaluating what that close looks like and where we are at and all of that. So this is interesting. It's going to be kind of a photo finish because our 50, like I say, if we're at 23,600 from our current price at 24,400, we're only $800 away. So it's right in our range. So this is a little bit too close to call, and it's hard to say whether it's bullish or bearish. It's slightly bullish because currently we're green, but we have to wait for the end of this candle. So the monthly doesn't help us a ton. If we go to weekly, we have not been able to cross the 50-week moving average. Our last week's close, Sunday night, I had speculated that we would close pretty close to the 200 or the 50, and we pulled back a decent amount right near the end there. And this candle created a little bit of confusion because we still haven't broken anything. We're still resisting. Our current candle is 5 days away, so this is too early to call. But intraday, we can at least look at that. And intraday, we have touched the 200. So we have touches on the 50 and 200 last week, and touches on the 50 and 200 this week. So intraday, it is getting very interesting. We do have a perfect support off of our declining wedge. So this is still in play, and there should be some upside left from that, as well as this bullish engulfing candle here. So there is some strength here. This type of strength is the type of thing that could get us there. But from how we've interacted with the 200 and the 50, we might need the full 5 days to get to really attempt a close on this $25,000 level. This level here, this close here, is 24,300, and this close last week was 24,270. So we officially have touched the resistance on the close of August 8th. So there are some significant resistance levels lining up here. But honestly, if you wanted my honest take, if we pulled back this upcoming week and closed just a little bit red, our next move would be pretty strong. So this is all too early to evaluate, really, but there are some pretty strong dynamics coming up here. Let's go to the daily and really kind of look at what's happening. First of all, the most obvious thing that has happened is that intraday, we have now touched the 200, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of our last 5 out of our last 6 candles. And so if there's a level that we touch continuously as resistance, it weakens it every time you touch it. So we're getting more and more comfortable with the $25,000 level. So far, when we touched it the first time, we retreated a ton. And then we battled all the way back up and touched it again and didn't fall too far. We didn't have enough strength to regain it the next day, and so we did come back pretty decent, but it was not near as much of a rejection as we had here. And then we rushed up and pushed it again. Pulled back a little bit, then touched it, then pulled back. Then we fell off a decent amount and came all the way back up and hit the 200 again. And then just today, we opened lower, hit the 200, and then we've been selling off for most of today. But what I'm seeing here is that every time we touch the 200, we're retreating less. So if I look at this from a 4-hour chart perspective, you can see how this played out. The $25,000 level is the level we're after. This was our highest close at 25,075. This is on the 4 hours, so it's not as significant. But we hit this high level, rejected really hard, battled all the way back up, touched it again briefly, hit it again here. This was a very short retreat. So that means that the bears are, the bulls are outbuying the bears whenever the bears have an attempt. So strong bearish attempt, the bulls just ate this up. We had a weaker bear attempt, and it was almost immediately snatched up, and we're back up again. And now we're at our more prolonged move. Like this is probably a little bit more prolonged of a down move, but this only represents 16 hours worth of trading. And our bearish low so far is even weaker than this. So it feels like the bulls are still in control here. And even if not, let's go back to the daily. Even if the bulls are not entirely in control, the fact that we've battled up to here has a great, huge advantage to the bulls. And the reason why is because look at all these levels of support we have. We could easily touch back at 23,750 and find support here. This would be a very likely spot to find support. We could also pull back to the 20, and this is a very a decent spot where we could find support. This is at 23,200, so that's still on the table. I'm not entirely sure if this would be support. I put this line in more of as a pivot point for resistance. I'm actually going to go ahead and remove it from the chart. That's probably not going to be significant. But as of today, this is our trading range. So this ended up being super important. We pulled back to it. I had no idea how important it was going to be, but it absolutely is. We closed right on it and then hit it as support, and then this launched our next move. Well, if this line is so important, and it is exactly 21,600 or so, look where our 50 is. Our 50 is at 21,631. So in 33 minutes, when the market closes, our 50 is now higher than this support. So bulls have tons of levels to grab onto even if we pulled back for a little bit. And we've pushed pretty hard for 6 straight days trying to break 2,500. And you know what? This 200-week moving average should not break easy. It shouldn't. We have resisted it for 7 years. We shouldn't just sail through it without a problem. And so the fact that we are working this hard to get through it is really bullish. It is actually pretty amazing that we are fighting this hard, because we could have rejected on this day. We could have rejected this day. We could have rejected every single day. And we've been attempting nonstop for almost a week straight. The sell orders right here are getting eaten up. And at some point, even if we have to kind of retreat a bit, the more we whittle away at a level, the more likely it is to break. At some point, bears are going to be selling so much Bitcoin right here to keep it below the 200 that they're going to start getting nervous, especially if there's this much intensity and this much buying. The only way to get it off the line is to sell quickly. So let me go to like a 1 hour and we'll look. Yeah, look at these volumes. So huge red volume right up here. So a massive volume to pull it off of that high, and then it dumped off, and then bulls are eating it up, and then this wick here represented a massive volume as well. So that means it took a lot of effort to get prices to drop back a bit. But then when we did, we bought this right back up, big candle of buying, and then here's another climax, huge volume as these bears are absorbing and selling to push prices back down. And then huge volume wick of buyers popping it back up. Our next big volume candle is this wick, and then it pulled back. And then finally this one, which was today, huge red volume candle. They are spending a lot of Bitcoin to pull this off of the highs, and they've been doing it over and over and over and over. And if bulls get fatigued and let it drop back for a bit and take a rest, that's totally fine. But the question is it just going to show up again in another few hours? Within 24 hours, are we back? Are we eating up against this again? And so I'm just looking at this, and there is an absolute battle happening. But the winning side is still in the hands of the bulls. They have more strength than weakness. And even if they failed for a bit, there's so many levels coming up here to give support that it really, in my opinion, I just feel like it's only a matter of time. So very, very fascinating developments. This sure has turned much differently than I expected, but there is quite a discussion on what happens next, because if we break this, then what happens? Well, if bears completely give up and bulls have they broke this, and you see volume and excitement and intensity, the first place we go is this range here. This is 30,000. So this is a pretty big move, yeah, it'll be interesting to know if if we get too high, that won't be really helpful. We want to stay, the ideal situation is for us to pop up above this and come back and find the 200 as support within a few weeks or something to give us, a foundation, and then we can continue on up. But I don't always get what I think what I think will happen. But I do see a lot of resistance around the 100, and this is true for both Bitcoin and Ethereum. So that's kind of my thoughts. The other thing that's still in play, so there is one more thing that bears have up their sleeve, and that is this bearish divergence. This is generally a fairly short-term thing, but it's gone for. This bearish divergence started January 14th. We're over a month with this bearish divergence, and so we're putting in higher highs, and our RSI is dropping. So the way this resolves is if we get an RSI reading above this line, or if we get another low, like if our price action starts following this. So if our price action starts going bearish along with the RSI, then we're matching up again. But this would have resolved here if we hadn't put in this new high. So the bearish divergence would have resolved because the prices did follow the RSI through here, and it would have resolved. But we had such an intense upthrust here that we ended up with a new higher high and strained RSI again. So now we're back into this again. So it has not resolved, and normally it would. So there is kind of a question mark still out there on the market of, how does this get resolved? But for the time being, there is a ton of bullish things going on here. So the big number is 25. We've wicked up to 25,250. So that's kind of our area, but we need a candle body to close above these lines. And, technically, since these are weekly averages, we not only need a candle body, we need a weekly candle body above those lines. So we still have 5 days to see if that's possible. But little by little, getting above this, even intra week, it really starts raising eyebrows, So the weekly chart has exactly what we need to move up. This could easily move up to the 100. So yeah, looks pretty good. I've been slowly averaging little by little out of my short position, just unwinding it little by little, and getting more and more longs. So I'm not trying to do it all at once. I'm letting the market kind of show little points of weakness where I can kind of snap up something. But yeah, I'm definitely working on having more long exposure throughout all of this. So just in case you're curious. All right, that's pretty much it for today. We will catch you live tomorrow at 12:30 Mountain Time. And hopefully some of you guys have some questions or comments, and we can just talk about whatever you want. All right, see you guys. Thanks for making it to the end of my video. Make sure you keep those trades small. Don't force a trade. Don't get impatient. And if you want to see how all this works, please come over and check me out on the subscription channel at cryptoinfluencers.com. Again, the link is in the description.